Hi everyone, this is Cathy from the IntimacyDojo.com, and we're here again with Carol Look from AttractingAbundance.com. Thanks for being here, Carol.
Hi Cathy, how are you?
Good. Tonight I'd like you to discuss why people, a lot of people talk about wanting to be close. They want to be deep in intimacy. They want to have someone that feels wonderfully safe and warm, and yet they're afraid to get close. They fight it. They have lots of different ways to keep people away. Why do they do that, and what can we do to help them shift that?
Well, I would say that the main reason people run from being close is because they've been hurt before and they expect to be hurt again.
Yes.
So in other words, you have to learn that. You have to learn that from your childhood or from a previous relationship, that being close is somehow threatening. Now, some people, they feel threatened because they don't want someone to know their real personality, because then they think they'll be abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else feels threatened because they're sure they're going to be rejected or made fun of. Somebody else says, if I get close, you know I'm going to be the one who's dumped. You know that they're going to dump me because it happened last time.
Right.
So it's really all experiential learning. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of those people, Cathy, run around saying, I want to be close. Yeah. But their behavior shows otherwise.
Right. What are some ways people act? They say they want to be close. What are some of the ways people avoid closeness?
They do things that are quite hurtful to the other person and then say, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Right? We've all done it.
Yeah.
So they'll do something hurtful so the other person needs to retreat a little bit. Or when you see this in romantic relationships, people often get together with someone who has no capacity to be intimate, right? So they say, oh, don't be silly, of course I want to be close, and then they choose, let's say they choose an alcoholic. And an alcoholic, by nature of the disease, cannot be intimate because they're not intimate with themselves. Or they choose someone who lives so far away that the intimacy is all kind of fake through emails and cutesy stuff, but it's not really being in the same room and being with each other. Right. So they'll say, oh, no, you don't understand, he's my soulmate, and then they'll say, but he's married. If he's married, he's not your soulmate, right? Because he can't be intimate during those times. So
if he's not available, it's safe yeah.
Right. I had a client who chose somebody who had affairs in his last 2 or 3 relationships, and she thought she was going to be different. It was not going to be different because she said he hasn't worked on the issues that made him have an affair at 3 and 4 years in each relationship.
Right.
Well, then don't tell me you want to be close because you've chosen someone who's given you the information. This wasn't a secret. This was information out in the open, and she still went for it.
So he lied to his past 2 partners, and he told her he lied, and she expected something different. It's hard.
So it was some sense of her denial and saying this will be different, rather than that's really alarming. Well, what have you done about it, or why you're doing that, or why would it be different?
Yeah.
Really, why would it be different? And obviously, people change and they grow up. Oh, if we were all acting now the way we were in our teens and 20s, we'd be in trouble. Yes. We'd be in trouble. So of course, people grow and change, but only if they're working and intending to grow and change.
So what can someone do if they notice resonance with what you just shared? They say, oh my gosh, I do that. I push people away. I'm kind of mean to them. I'm awkward and step on their toes so they don't come too close. Or I've had 3 affairs with married men and didn't ever feel good to me. It didn't feel right to me. What can they do to start feeling safer?
Well, the first thing they need to do is acknowledge why they won't go there. And again, we've talked about this, so this could be childhood issues or the previous relationship. Why would you work so hard, consciously and unconsciously, to not be close, to not be intimate? What is it about the vulnerability? What is it about exposing yourself and your personality? Do you feel like a phony? Is it about rejection? Really take a look at it, because if you're not willing to explore it, and there are, hundreds of different kinds of therapy and energy therapy and all sorts of body work that you could do, where you could start to go inside and understand why you're saying you want to be close, but you're behaving as if there's no way you want to get anywhere near it. So when in doubt, exploration and insight. And then any kind of therapeutic tools, the journal writing, talking to a therapist, doing the energy work and tapping that you and I have done, that we do in our practices, anything else that would help you feel safe enough to acknowledge that the truth is you don't want to be intimate.
Right.
That's what we keep running from the
Mhm.
truth and saying it, and we point the finger and say it's the other
Yes.
person. It's not the other person. You chose
Yeah.
them.
I think just even acknowledging, when we can acknowledge to ourselves, I am afraid, this is frightening. And if we're in a relationship that's if we have a good relationship with the other person and we feel safe, we could say, hey, listen, I realize that I've been acting out, I'm afraid, this is what's going on. And just sometimes just knowing why the other person's doing that is a relief, and it opens the door to more healing for both people.
It changes everything. But when you're afraid to be close, it's hard to be close and intimate with yourself
Yes.
too. So to look at your own behavior and acknowledge and write about it and talk about it and seek out therapeutic help about it and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've sabotaged the third relationship in a row. There must be, I keep blaming them, but apparently it's me. That takes incredible courage and stamina and real integrity. And so, but that's a really, really important.
And when you work through it, it's well worth it in the long run when you get that relationship that you always wanted. So.
Well, and you understand that the safety begins with you. That being close to someone else isn't what's dangerous. What feels threatening and is that you're offering your feelings and someone could hurt you, but you end up knowing that, wait a minute, I'm in control of my feelings rather than I'm so vulnerable and everybody else can stop.
Right, I can actually handle my own emotions. That's a very powerful place to be. Thank you very much, Carol.
My pleasure. I love talking with you.